5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.
Tonight, I'm here and you're there. Wherever there is, welcome to the Live with Neve show. Happy Thursday. Happy hump day. I hope whatever you're doing, you had a great hump day last night or this morning, or maybe both if you can. So, we don't usually do shows on Thursdays, as you know, but every once in a while, we do. Hey, Rick, how are you, man? Thanks for stopping by. There's Gina. We got East and West Coast action going on. That's a good thing. You're wondering, you notice I'm a little out of breath. There's a damn fly in the studio, and I have an electronic fly swatter which zaps them, and it's pretty fun. It's like kind of a, I don't know, it feels like great to play God once in a while with a fly. No, I'm kidding, but they drive you crazy. I don't even like killing them, but they're a pain in the ass. So all is good. I have a special guest on today. And he's special because he's one of my first guests on the show a couple of years ago. I guess we've known each other now maybe 2.5 years. I think he's been on twice, maybe 3 times, but always been fun. And I picked him up, found him, I don't know where. He's out there on the coast, out on the beautiful Oregon coast. It's just God's country. And the guy's been in Nashville a lot. And he's written songs that are really, really good. And he's going to be here, and we're going to talk about where you can listen, what you might be able to do with some of these songs. And it's an interesting story. It's kind of sad, and at the same time it's bittersweet. And I consider the people we have on the show more than one time are, they're friends after a while. They become family. You talk to them all the time. We worry about, they tell us offline, what's going on in life. And sometimes life sucks, But, we only get one as far as I can tell, notwithstanding I know that there's possibilities, but I don't really believe I'll be flying around in angel wings regardless. I believe there'll be something. As David Bowie said, I don't know what it'll be, but I'm sure it'll be extraordinary. Paraphrase. So, without a lot of ado, I'm just going to tell you the first song he played on my show was about, it was a novelty song. I came across it, it jumped out at me, I listened to it, I cracked up, it was funny, and it's campy, and I wish I had that queued up right now. I've got some of his music, so I'm going to bring him on in a second, but before I do, I'm just going to play a song that I really like, that Ace did. So, I'm going to go ahead and play this song, and I'm going to see what we can do with it, okay? So bear with me. I'm coming over here. And, uh-oh. I'm going to see what we can do with it, okay? Oh, wow. So bear with me. That didn't work so good.
There were late nights, hangovers, big fights, sometimes barely alive.
Hang on, temporary clusterfuck here.
I was drinking when I started thinking I might not survive. I was no one's responsibility. It was all up to me to be all I could be. I was just a kid. I'm not proud of what I did. I had to almost lose it all for I.
Damn it all, boy. I hate it. I'm going to just bring Ace on. Wow, what was that all about, people? I am so sorry. God almighty, the joy of living in the free world. That really is a bummer because that is a beautiful song. And I must be having some kind of weird internet slowdown here in the Highlands today because this is not acceptable. Hang on, we'll turn Ace on. Ace, I'm sorry, man. That's crazy. I don't know what to tell you about that. I had it all plotted and it worked before. I don't know. They were fine at the dance last night. All the tech people, they seem to have it all under control.
Before I learned to live.
Hey, man, you know what? You're here. You're looking good. You've got some music and guitars, and we got good shit to talk about. I'm glad you're here, man.
Man, I'm really glad to be here too. I'm feeling great lately. It's just wonderful to be alive and you're feeling good.
Absolutely, health is wealth, man, and I'm so glad you look great. And I've been listening to your stuff like for the past week, a lot of it, and you got a bunch of great stuff. So why don't you? I remember I know a lot about you. I know your hidden secrets, your darkest fears. I know all those things. Right. But we're not here to talk about them. We're here to talk about rock and roll, your songwriting, how you got into it. We're going to take it as if this is my first interview with you, and we're just going to let it free form. And are you still getting an echo out there, Gina? Are you getting an echo, Ace?
No, it sounds great here.
Let's see.
My voice is echoing back at me, but it's not
okay.
Totally distracting.
Let me do something here then to see if I can reduce the amount of kickback. Tell me, is that better?
Yeah, it's gone. It's
hello,
almost
hello,
gone. Yeah, it's
hello,
real
hello.
back in the background. Now I can just.
And just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and put some headphones on. It's always, in life when things are going bad, you listen to that track and it just sucks, and you're like, I didn't hear that an hour ago, and it's their 100th take. Or you got a guitar player in there, it's his 100th take. It's never mine. I'm a drummer, man. 2 take, you got it. All right, let's see. I hope that's a little better for you. Do you hear any reverb now?
No, it sounds great.
How about you, Gina? Gina is the beautiful young lady from Los Angeles.
All right.
All right. Now, I'm going to try something again because it's just I have you pulled up here and queued up. Let's see. I like the. That's not what I'm trying to do. All right. There we go. Well, I'm sorry, people. I hate it when tech shit happens, but it does, and that's okay because we'll go organic the way it was done in the old days when guys like me roamed the earth and we had strange drugs prepared for us, like 714s and real Osley acid. And we were so old, man. We were cool before anyone.
How does that sound on your end?
Sounds good. Turn it up a little bit more, though.
There were late nights.
Is that even doable?
Yeah, that's doable.
Is it?
Yeah, let me tell you what. I'm going to let you ask. I'm going to try it off the video. You tell me how it sounds to you. We're showing everybody how it works in the wild world of tech.
Yeah.
Stick around, people. The show's about to get good. All right. I'm going to break that out. I'm going to share settings.
This song, Before I Learned to Live, I wrote the song because I had got clean and sober, and I realized that I just about drank myself to death. 15 years was just beer, but I was really abusing myself, and I came really close, I think, to drinking myself to death, and I was smoking pot.
How long have you been sober?
And wrote that song.
How long have you been sober?
It's been about 6 years.
6 years. Wow. Well, I'm not far behind you. I'm coming up on 4.
Nice.
I'm about 3.5 right now.
All right.
Feels great, doesn't it? It
Sure
real
makes
different.
a difference. It made all the difference in not only my personal relationships, but my songwriting, just every aspect of my life just came right up to the level that it should be. I finally matured, because you just can't mature when you're drinking like that.
It's interesting, for those of you who are out there and are not alcoholics or whatever. I was the king's own drunk. Let's say I was paid a salary to drink, and
Yeah.
what was your drink of choice? Did you have a particular party favorite?
Mine was always beer.
Okay.
I mean, I did drink, some mixed drinks occasionally, and I drank wine with my wife because she was a big wine drinker.
Mm-hmm.
But my everyday
Just
beer from the time
popping
I
the
got up
beers.
in the morning till the time it was beer.
Yeah, I know a lot of my friends who do that all day, and I was one of them. But once I started to really become a hardcore case, I'll just tell you, man, it was like I drank for effect. And so it was, Knob Creek, bourbon. But that diet for a year or two where you have about a bottle of that crap a day.
Wow.
Or more. And I have friends come over. One of my buddies was like, "You're an animal. You're like threw up. You're gonna have another drink." It's a fucking horrible disease, and I don't even like the disease bit of it. It's just a fucking horrible malaise that hits some people, and it can be genetic. There's a lot of reasons, and who cares what the fucking reasons are? If you have a problem, hopefully somebody will point it out, and you won't go ignore it or any number of things. But what you said really resonates with me, because until I got sober, all the same things you mentioned, and I think it's everybody who really knows they have a problem. You can't quit unless you really want to do it. Nobody can do that shit for you. They can preach at you and they can tell you, and you can feel like shit because you've done something stupid another time, and your family gets fatigued with your bullshit, and your friends. And I've had a couple of good friends had to can me from a band, and I thank them for it. I was in a mess, and everything I do, I get up at 5 in the morning and I'm awake till 1 in the morning. I sleep about 4 or 5 hours. I eat good. I sleep good. I don't have any stomach disorders. I don't like how I'm gacked out all the time, heartburn. Right. It's just a horrible thing. And so I got my friend here, Jace, is a friend of mine here locally in the New Jersey area. And he's saying, any tips how you quit there, Ace? We've turned into a little alcohol talk, but this is a long-winded discussion for those of you. And if I like this show so much, I bought the company. And, so we do things weird. There's no commercials. So anybody has a question, it's kind of free form. But Jace just had a question. So Ace, tell him give him a pep talk, man.
A pep talk?
Yeah, just give him some ideas on how to be sober. Slap him around a little bit.
Oh my gosh. It's interesting. When you first start drinking, it's a lot of fun until it gets it's progressive. It's always progressive. The longer you drink, the more dependent you get on it. And before you know it, you can't quit. And, for me, it was just a matter of life and death, because I was going to drink myself to death. In fact, my older brother did drink himself to death. But for me, I went to therapy. And thank God it was covered by my insurance. So I said, hey, I got insurance. Go ahead and get therapy, because good therapy is good for anybody. I don't care who you are or what your problems are. It'll solve a lot. I
agree totally with you.
I did like 7 years of therapy, and I went through 5 therapists. And by the time I reached the 5th therapist, she was more into addiction therapy. And so she really got me on a program. And I finally made the commitment and just went home one day and said, I'm just about drank myself to death. And it just happened for me. So, I mean, I guarantee if you can get it under control, you'll be there's nothing that feels better than being in control of what you eat and drink, what you consume.
And also how you, I never, after I got sober, the first time I ever went into a bar, and this isn't a joke, I didn't bring the horse, the rabbi, or anybody. We walked in, and my friend of mine and I, and he asked me, is it cool if we sit at the bar? I don't want you to get all snorted out. And I just looked at him and I said, look, I may have the problem with booze. All of these folks, maybe they do have problems, but a couple of them did. And we sat down, and I'm of the mind, for anybody out there, if you're going to quit drinking, don't be a pussy, man. You just got to do it. It sucks and it's hard, but you just got to do it. And so I sat down, and me and my friend are talking music and who's stooping who, and the whole panoply of things that go through guy talk, the hottest chick in the neighborhood, whatever. And I noticed this character to my right, and he was a character, a funny bastard, and quite the talk of the town, a real Toastmaster. The guy had the gift of gab, so to speak, and he came over and got a chair between me away and just started talking to us like a river floods. And I don't know, they were slow with our stuff, so we were sitting there, and for 20 minutes or so, we're trying to have a conversation, and the guy kept cutting in. And here's the honest thing, people. As that went on, I thought, that's me. When I'm drinking and I'm hanging out, I'm snapping off jokes, I'm talking shit, I'm running my mouth a mile a minute, and I'm not saying anything, and I'm annoying as fuck to people who are sitting around me. I'm already loud.
Yeah.
That guy's sitting there, and I liked him. He was a funny guy, and I could see how somebody might perceive me in my older days in a similar vein. And they'd think he's funny, but fucking knock it off, man, already. You know, that's one of the things. I mean, it's hard. And so, Jace, of course, Jace said he'd like to friend you. Of course, he'd friend you, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and Jace, I tell you, man, if you want to get help, I can show you a few places and people to talk to. That's all I'm going to say. But if you do it, just do it. Don't be, just, you can't half-ass it. In your case, what I would tell you perhaps is do what I did. Just drink like a shitload of whiskey, go up to your loft, fuck around up there playing with your guitar, then drunkenly stagger and fall down from the loft down to the second floor. Then get your dumb ass up. I'm not ready for this. I can get it all the way. I'm going to do a back double gainer with a half twist, and I'm coming in fast. Dunk! I hit the floor down at the basement. Multiple injuries, a lot of blood on the floor. Nobody home. And I'm sitting there in vast disbelief when I finally came to. Somebody was slamming my head with the door trying to open it, but my head was right in the corner where the hinge is. So it was really hard to get the door open, and that might explain my brain damage that I still probably have from that episode. I think I lost about 150 IQ points just in that one jump. So flash forward, 8 months later, been through therapy, did a brief stint in rehab, which was really ugly. Then went back, had physical damage, so I was in the hospital from May until September, around the 1st, coming up to my anniversary of getting out. And believe me, I know what it feels like when a person gets out of prison. It's just getting sober. Jace, I'm going to tell you this as a brother. I'm sorry if you're hearing this conversation's a bummer. We're going to get to music, but this is important stuff. And I own the show, so occasionally it takes weird turns. Remember, though, we're never lost when you're with Neil, but the path may wander. An old Indian told me that once. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm an Indian. I'm a member of the Wapaho tribe. We're indigenous to Paterson and Passaic, New Jersey. And I have a grievance, but I'll get in line with everybody else. So back to you. I'm sorry. Let's give him some idea. He's sitting here. He's got rehab and free insurance. I know my advice is, hey, Rick, how you doing, buddy? My advice is, I'll drive you there, brother. That's it.
Well, the best thing Jace can do is to get sober as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. It'll be the best decision he's ever made in his life. He'll reap all the positive benefits, and every part of his life will get better. All his relationships, the way he feels about himself, his
the way people look at you, it takes a while, dude.
Everything.
This is the thing, man. Just get sober and get through that one fucking day, and then just keep doing it. And I whether you do AA or whether you talk to some friends, but do something. Don't just not do anything. And really, it's worth having. At any rate,
it really is, one day at a time.
The show ain't about you, brother. But you know what? It is. It's more important than our show when it comes to life and death, mate. And that's really, I feel that way. So don't feel like you've wasted anybody's time at all, man. So, Ace, let's get back and talk the show where we were starting.
Okay.
Everybody hasn't seen the show, but tell me how you got started. And I'm going to go off camera, but I'm going to leave my mic on.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a series. We'll just have a chat, man. And
right.
Guys, we're going to play and doing all kinds of stuff. And let's take it away. So how did this all start, Ace?
Well, I got started when my dad gave me my first little acoustic guitar when I was 11 years old. And, you know, I realized as soon as I picked it up, and so did my dad, that I had a talent for guitar. And it was kind of a natural thing. Mm-hmm. Immediately started writing songs. And it it was such an organic, natural process. It just happened. It's not like I had to force anything. And from then on, I just kept getting better and better. And by the time I was somewhere between 18 and 19 years old, I went down, tried to well, first I got a couple of jobs, and it was acoustic guitar and playing in a Black Angus steakhouse. And that was so exciting to get my first job, $50 a night. Back then, I was really doing what I loved to do. And then when that job came to an end, I couldn't find another job just playing acoustic guitar solo. And so I wanted to get into a group. Well, everybody needed bass player. So I got into bass guitar. And as soon as I did, I realized bass guitar was in demand, and it still is.
Oh, absolutely.
If you play bass guitar, everybody's going to want you to play, especially
if you're really
good. You have good work
and
ethic and you're decent on the bass guitar.
Right.
You get right
But
in.
we always make jokes about them because isn't it true? So many of them are such quiet guys. They always sit in the back and they look at the drummer and the singer and they're like, what's wrong with them? What is wrong with these people? They're insane. And, you know, they're usually very level and steady. I've had a few who were pretty insane in my band over the years, but not many. Most of those guys, the guy I use right now is Matt D'Esposito. And hell, we bring him because he's half bouncer, you know. The guy's, he's a big strapping Italian guy, and he looks like a bass player and plays like a son of a bitch. In the pocket, though. Cool. I mean, since I met him, every time I need to do something or just want to do something, just hang and play some music. He's my guy. But when you had a bass then, were you in a band at that point? Were you putting...
Yeah, I was in a couple of bands. You know, my experience was I had a group called Uncle Joe's Country Jam, and they were some older, you know, gentlemen, somewhere between around 40 years old, and here I was 20. And I got into their group and started playing playing bass and singing backup vocals and an occasional lead vocal song. And then I had another group called Diamondback, and they were a bunch of guys that were my age.
Right.
Well, we had a blast. So I had two different groups going, 4 hours worth of material with each one, and I had my solo act. So I was really very active in music, doing gigs all the time.
Right.
And then I went to join the Army, and I was going to be play bass guitar in the Army group. But they said, "Can you read?" And I said, "No, I can't read music because I've got this dyslexia thing, and I never learned to read. I play by ear." And he said, "Well, you got to know how to read music." So that was the end of that dream.
Damn.
But now, I never did get to serve my country, and I've always wanted to. And now my opportunity has come because I've got like 81 songs in my catalog right now. I've got hundreds of tunes, but 81 at least that are available on my catalog. I've got this Ace Arlo and the Overdub album right here.
Which I just love.
My newest one.
Yes.
Then I've got the first Ace Arlo album that came out in 2020. I've got the Ruby Red Pickup Truck album when I was Mark Madden, before I went to Ace Arlo for online marketing purposes. And then we have to go back into the 90s with my 10 Minutes from Heaven album.
I have that queued up here. It's funny. I heard that album because I listened to it last night, and that is some great traditional country, man. You got some great songs. In fact, I want to play the one.
Which album is that? Are you talking about?
Mark Madden, 10 Minutes from Heaven.
Oh, 10 Minutes from Heaven. Yeah, back to 1997.
Yeah, boy, that's when I was having some time. Boy, I was kicking some doors in. Let me tell you, life was pretty insane at that.
Well, listen to the fantastic news. Let me take a minute to give a shout out to my friend Felton Pilot, who's in this R&B group in California called Confunction. Whoever's heard of that?
Confunction, all right.
You've heard of? He went on to produce MC Hammer's song "Can't Touch This," and he's done many other pretty well-known artists. He's a great producer and a great friend. Excellent. And he just came by. He had a concert in Portland, Oregon, and came by to visit me, and just wanted to give a shout out to him.
Very nice.
And I'm setting up with an attorney. I'm setting up an opportunity for me to help the disabled veterans. It's something I've always wanted to serve my country, never got a chance. So now my opportunity is anybody who records my songs. I've got 81 songs to choose from. Anybody who records it will issue a licensing agreement so they can record it. Right. And then we enter into also at the same time we enter into a profit sharing agreement where they'll be granted 100% of the publishing for that tune. So they get the publishing, and 100% of the writer's share will go to the disabled veterans. So I'm not keeping any money. I've always wanted to serve my country. This is my way to give back, and hopefully we can make this happen. And each person that records another song, even if it's the same song, each recording enters into a new licensing agreement and a new profit sharing. So each recording, each new artist will then be granted 100% of publishing for that recording only.
People, if you're a musician, I don't think you understand how generous this is, and it gives Ace a legacy, and it's a good one. You know, I don't want to get too political, but the way, I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat either. I like people in all parties, so don't start getting fucking frisky, okay? Right. Either side. I don't want to get into it with you, okay? Right. So keep your opinions till you go home, and you go out on the internet and shout your opinion to the world. Go forth and, I don't know, cogitate. At any rate, Ace's songs, the reason it's valuable, and it's because they don't suck. And I say that, I mean what I'm saying. I don't bullshit around. Anybody who knows me knows. If I didn't like somebody, they know it like really quick. I don't believe in being one of those people you can't tell, does he like me, does he not like me? I mean, I'm a real prick. Oh, I want to play one of your cuts and see if it comes through real quick. Oh, I want good people.
When I wake,
can you hear it okay?
Oh yeah.
I keep thinking good tunes coming soon. I can't wait to make a music connection that leaves me feeling high as a weather balloon. So I take a deep breath.
It's a great song.
Drag it home across my head as my day begins.
Yeah, you know, I've listened to all of these. Now, did you do all these at home? Is they all overdubs? Did you do everything?
Well, now, the older ones, all the Ace Arlo stuff is done here in my studio. I do all the foundational work, and then I send it to Nashville.
Right.
And a friend of mine named Jason Roller out of Nashville, he's very well known. He's got a Grammy on a bluegrass album, and he played for Joe Diffie for 8 years, and for Winona for about 3 years. He now plays for the group Alabama.
All right.
I mean,
there's a guy here on the show with us right now whose brother manages him.
He's also in the house band at the Grand Ole Opry.
Well, God, he
that's
doesn't.
What kind of that's what level he's at, and he's one of the best studio musicians that you could possibly find. And then I've also my friend Felton Pilot has been to the Grammys twice. He lost his first Grammy to Quincy Jones. And he got his second Grammy for, of all things, a keyboard bass part that he got on Stanley Clark's album. It was a great, you know, why he needed a keyboard bass, I don't understand it. But
we love Stanley.
But he got on the album and he got a Grammy for that. So that's the kind of a musician at the level that he's at. So I've got 2 Grammy Award winners that are on both my Ace Arlo albums. So, and then, you know, I've been working on my songwriting craft since I was 11 years old. I finally come into my own, and now it's available for any artist or publishing company or record company that wants to record my songs. They will then be granted 100% of the publishing. It'll still go through my publishing company, Whiskey Run Records, Whiskey Run Publishing, but the checks will be sent to them, 100% of publishing, while the 100% of writer's share will go to the disabled veterans. And that's more important to me than money. I've got all the money that I want, you know, with my recent diagnosis of stage 4 lung cancer and prostate cancer, pancreatic cancer. I won't be around for long, but this is going to be my gift to not only the artists, but the music lovers that listen to music, and the veterans that need help, that always need help, and the artists that record my songs that will then get the publishing. So I think everybody will win. And there should be enough incentive to have people continue to record my songs over and over, because each new artist is going to then be granted 100% of publishing for that recording, for the recording that they record, and they're going to be helping the veterans. So
I'm going to be sending out also to a bunch of producers in my list of contacts, and I'm going to share what you're talking about.
Right.
I'm also going to share it with some of my former college, my alma mater.
Okay.
It's full of young people, and country music is being made. There's all kinds. I've listened to your songs. There's a vast different. There's all kinds of stuff in there because I heard several songs that I'm on the hunt because I just want to do a couple, man.
Right.
And
Well,
I know
do.
a tremendous amount of musicians, and everybody I know love to do this. They're not going to go, oh man, you got to pay me scale or any bullshit. But we're going to do this just to give it back. In fact, we'll just donate the money. It's not like we need it. The veterans get screwed all the time, and
Right.
people always think that all musicians are just like animals and hate the military and stuff. But
Oh no.
whoever's out there thinking
I
that
love
we're going to
the
do
military.
better by getting rid of the military or lowering standards all the time are out of their mind. I mean, it's a unique experience and it has to remain one, in my opinion. And
Well, you see what's happening around the world. If you don't have a strong military, someone will come in, kick your ass, and take your property.
they'll take whatever they want. Look at old Putin.
That's
He's
it.
sitting there for 10 years. He's been spanking his monkey thinking about attacking the world and taking back, Russia, Poland. He wants to expand into his old Soviet Union. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get confused for anybody out there who actually knows what they're talking about. Russia, part of it, well, we don't want to talk about Russia. Our vets and their vets too. I hate watching their guys get killed, even though their boss sent them in. They've
Right.
lost 70,000 kids, man. And
Right.
they're somebody's kid. And if we're going to really be enlightened in the world, instead of all this other bullshit, let's start with not fucking killing each other
Sure.
over territorial borders. They're the same people.
Right.
You could not tell ethnically driving from Ukraine into fucking Russia. You'd not know the difference. The accents are going to change, but these are
Right.
the same people. It'd be like you're in the States. It's just fucking ridiculous.
So one of the critical components to perpetuating my legacy in music and helping artists get the publishing and helping the vets get the writer share, critical component is first they have to find the music.
Right.
So I'm going to be promoting it on Facebook. Also, you can go to Ace Arlo right on YouTube. I've got a bunch of my tunes on YouTube. They're not all there yet, but they will be in the next couple months. I'll get all that in place so that people can find the music. Then they can enter into a licensing and profit sharing agreement where they get the money and the veterans get the money and everybody and the music lovers get new songs to listen to and everybody's happy.
Well, you're also going to have an ad here for the next year or whatever we need to get this out there.
Nice.
I'm going to get that done by next week, and we'll. I run
That's
ads.
my dream. That's my
This
dream.
is a great thing. You're a hell of a guy, Ace. And
Thank you,
I'll
Neil.
say this too, man. If you've had some time to adjust since this hit your life, but I'm just going to say this from the outside looking in as a friend, man. You're handling it. I hope to handle my own demise as smartly and as bravely as you have, and I mean that from my heart, man.
Well, thanks. Thank
it's,
you very much. The one thing I can say is if you have, I had bladder cancer about 6 years ago, and that was a piece of cake.
Right.
I mean, they just took it out. I didn't even know I was sick. They did immunotherapy,
Right.
and it cured everything temporarily. It got rid of everything, and so I lived
Very
the
common
last 6
problem in
years,
middle-aged people, guys.
super quality of life for the last 6 years. I've been so happy to get that extra time, and then in January I started noticing some problems with my breathing. I just had a cough, persistent cough, and then finally, after like 2 or 3 months of trying to figure out what's going on, finally found out that I had 3 tumors in one lung and 2 tumors in the other, and they were too large to operate on. So then they did some CAT scans and discovered that I also had a tumor in my pancreas. Then we did lung biopsy and pancreatic biopsy, and we discovered that it was metastatic. So it came from the pancreas, it's spread, it's stage 4, and there's really no getting away from that. I mean, it's the end. But
Sure.
so what I want to do is I don't want my music to die with me. I've spent my whole life writing music. I want to get my music out there, and I want the veterans to benefit, and I want the artists to benefit with the publishing. And so I'm hoping that will create enough incentive so that people start recording my songs and go to Ace Arlo YouTube and Ace Arlo Facebook. YouTube will have a lot of my songs, and within the next month or two, I'm going to have all 81 songs. My whole catalog will be on.
We're going to
my
be
YouTube
playing
page
some of those songs
and available
with your permission, of course. During the next few months, I'd like to use it for bumper music, and it'll say clearly it's Ace Arlo, and I want to have 100,000 people fucking sign up and do songs. I know that's a lot of royalties to split.
Oh, my friend Jason Roller from Nashville, he just produced a new bluegrass album for me. I received. I
have a copy.
No, you don't have the bluegrass album.
Oh, I have. Okay,
you have You have the Ace Arlo and the Overdubs album.
I have the top tracks, and I have the Mark Madden.
You also have my first Ace Arlo album, which is just Ace Arlo, Coastal Cowboy.
Right, from last year. Now, I remember when I first had you on.
The new one that's coming out is called Ace Arlo, World Class Bluegrass. So that's the title on that one.
Excellent! I can't wait to hear that. That's really.
I don't know how well. How well you can hear this, but Rick,
go ahead and crank it up. I'll tell you in a minute.
Track, Bluegrass Projects, right there. So let me play you a track here.
It's nice.
Back in my younger days, straight away I loved you. It wasn't just a phase I was going through. You're a piece of my heart I never wanna break apart. Well, I know what I wanna do. I wanna stay with you, pray with you. I wanna lay with you. Oh, this is one and done. You're the only one. I'll be on my way to heaven when I leave you. I wanna stay with you.
I can't wait. I can't wait to get this record.
So
that is.
Give you an idea.
What an opening! What an intro, man.
Well, I get my morning joe at the coffee shop. People ask me for my autograph every time I stop. They don't know me.
Get that fly.
Town. Yes, I'm the local yokel, guitar vocal, biggest unknown celebrity around.
I love it. It's a great track. How can you not tap your feet to that sucker, man? For all of you folks out there who don't know bluegrass, this is good. Hi, Toby. How are you, babe? We have Ace Arlo on. So glad you could join us. So, Ace, you want to play us a couple tunes?
Can you hear that on this?
Oh, I heard it. You know, a good song, you don't need a good stereo. I could have listened on a transistor radio and picked it up.
It's not coming across distorted or anything?
No, it sounded very clean. It's just, it sounds like you're far away, which, you know, we know you are. You're out there on the coast. Where exactly in Oregon are you?
I'm in a little town called Bandon. It's near Coos Bay.
Okay. Coos Bay is a beautiful place.
2 hours north of the border.
Okay.
Right on the ocean.
Well, you have some fans here. I know Gina's a bluegrass girl. She's digging on it.
All right.
And, well, so, hey, do you want to play something?
You know, with my lung condition, it's a little bit, you know, I'd certainly love to
I don't want you doing anything that's going to...
But, you know, if you'll listen to me as a songwriter and not an artist, then you'll maybe appreciate it a little bit more.
I'll appreciate it anyway, bro.
As an artist, as a singer and an artist, I just can't do what I could do 6 months ago.
I understand, my friend.
So 6 years ago, when I got my bladder cancer diagnosis, since I don't have any children, which is also another reason why I want to give everything to the vets and because who's going to get it? They're just going to sit there.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote this song. First thing I thought of, since I don't have any kids, all my songs are my babies. They're like things that I birthed. I created them and I gave birth to them.
I know exactly what you mean. I always feel like Uncle Neil. I've got a whole bunch of kids.
The first thing I thought was, who's gonna sing my songs when I'm long gone? When I'm gone, I might be just a memory. but I'm leaving my babies behind. Lots of songs that come from deep within me, and I'm thinking I might write a big hit each time. That makes me wonder who's gonna sing my songs when I'm long gone. Play my records, make sure the music lives on. Talk about me like a music icon. So who's gonna sing my songs when I'm gone? When I'm gone, I hope you sing my songs, so they might have a life of their own. Take them up on stage and do some sing-alongs. Yeah, just take them, make them your own. It only makes me wonder who's gonna sing my songs when I'm long gone. Play my records, make sure the music lives on. Talk about me like a music icon. So who's gonna sing my songs when I'm gone? I might be gone, but time marches on and on.
Okay.
After decades have passed and gone, generations have long moved on. Music lives on and on and on and on. Won't you tell me who's gonna sing my songs when I'm long gone? Play my records, make sure the music lives on. About me like a music icon. So who's gonna sing my songs when I'm gone? So who's gonna sing my songs when I'm long gone? Sing my songs. It's available.
Oh man, I tell you what.
Record your own version of that song and be granted 100% of the publishing, while the veterans, disabled veterans, will get 100% of the writer's share. I can't say it enough. I hope people get excited and they find the incentive to continue to record my songs over and over and over again.
Listen,
everybody's going to win.
I want anybody who watches this show. I never ask you guys for anything. I don't ask you for money. I do actually, but nobody sends any, so what the hell. In this case, please just take and spread the word of this. I want this shit to go viral, and I'm going to do everything I can on my end. There's going to be a press release going out nationwide, and I'm going to see what we can do to just blow this up. I can't think of a more generous thing to do. And, you know, all of us, remember this, people. The only people who probably are going to remember any of us are the people who loved us and the people who are around us.
Sure.
And love has many types, agape, and we can go through the whole Latin and Greek concepts of what love, eros, etc. But really, music's the one thing that, whether it's sexual or not sexual, it brings people together. It can make you feel, you can fly back in time to, like you can smell a smell and get a song in your head. It reminded you of fall in 1965, or whatever. In my case, I don't remember much from 1965 other than throwing a bocce ball up and hitting my head with it. That explains a lot for those of you who wonder about my sanity from time to time. But, I just feel like musicians are extended family for almost everybody, because everybody likes some kind of music. Almost. There's very few exceptions. I mean, have you ever met anybody who just doesn't dig music? I mean, I've met... No. My asshole stepfather I used to have, he's long gone, but he used to hate any kind of music. Didn't matter what. Just, guy had no soul.
That's strange.
It was. And he was lucky to have a 14, 13-year-old kid playing drums, playing Smoke on the Water 300 or 400 times. Woo!
Yeah, I love that song. An interesting aspect of my career, when I was 18 years old, my life is an open book. I'm writing an autobiography now, and hopefully I'll get that finished before I pass.
Right.
But interesting aspect is, when I was 19 years old, I had a bad temper. I was drinking alcohol. Somebody came up and I felt threatened, and I totally overreacted, being on alcohol and having the temper that I had. Right. And I ended up stabbing the guy. I had to go to prison for like it was 12 months and then be on parole for a year. And from that moment on, I knew that, I was not supposed to be able to vote. I was not supposed to be able to join the military. There was a bunch of stuff that I would never be able to do again because of felony.
Wow. Yeah. And that shit happens. Lots of kids do stupid shit,
And so people have asked me a lot of times, how come you're not in Nashville, or why aren't you famous? Because the music production and the songwriting is at such a level that it actually, it has. I have had some airtime. I had some minor success, but how come you haven't had more success? Well, there's a bunch of things that go into that. I was totally distracted. For one thing, I never thought of music as my sole source of income. Sure. I always had a second or third job at a hauling and yard work service, worked with the laborers union. Right. I leased a big warehouse where I built a couple of recording studios, and I subleased storage spaces. I was doing all kinds of things. And even in my 20s, I even sold a little bit of pot to my friend.
Good for you.
Because I wanted
an entrepreneur. I can still go from grams to ounces and dollars and cents like quicker than anything.
Well, I was totally distracted by multiple things, and at the same time, when I started to reach a level where I knew that I could possibly get a recording contract, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, as soon as you get a recording contract, you become someone's investment, and they want to get their money back. Not only are they going to push you to work 300 shows a year, but they're also, eventually, I could end up in the tabloids when people find out that I've got a felony and they put me.
Sure.
And then I would destroy my relationship with my investors.
Absolutely right.
So in the back of my mind,
now it would be a resume.
I was almost afraid of success.
I can see that. Well, now it would be a resume enhancer in today's world. It's tawdry,
Right.
I mean, it's crazy how it is. I've noticed that. Like, you think about Motown and the level of sophistication, and I don't have any axe to grind. I like some rap. It's great.
Right.
But there's some that's just god-awful. And I don't know. It's just a whole different experience, It's not as classy. It's not as... It seems to glorify things that are going to go on anyway. I'm not a prude. I don't care. It's all adult entertainment. But I don't know. I think, garbage in, garbage out. I think emotionally, if you're writing songs about, stealing shit and just that kind of glorifying a criminal lifestyle, basically.
Right.
It's an expression, and people should do it. But myself, I'd rather just put out stuff that's good. It can be provocative. It can be very thought-provoking. I don't think words hate anybody. Believe me, I don't. I hate it when I see some white guy hears a black album and they get on the news and some fat guy in a suit. Rap, I may have done the smaller version of it by saying that, but the truth is, I listen to good rap, not the shit that's out there on the radio every day that is pushed down the throat of the masses. There's lots of independent rap guys out there who kick ass. I mean, I've had a few on the show, and they're like nobodies.
I really enjoy a wide variety of music. It's just the music that I really love to listen to is predominantly country. Mm-hmm. But I really enjoy a wide variety of music because I grew up with classic rock, and
right.
in my childhood there was radio stations that played everything.
Well, that's the fact. Back in the 60s and 70s, you had that freeform kind of radio. You could hear Frank Sinatra, then you'd hear a Beatles tune, then you might hear something really off the wall like a Velvet Underground tune, or later on, it all started to die out. I guess around the 71 or 2, Led Zeppelin came out. It's amazing how the changes the record industry. How old are you now?
If you don't mind me asking? 64 now.
You're 64. When I'm 64, boom.
So when I think of my younger years in my 20s and 30s and even in my early 40s when I still could have had a viable career at a higher level, and when people ask me what happened, well, that's what I just talked about is what happened. I was totally distracted. You have to be focused. You have to have good work ethics. You got to keep your feet on the ground. You got to have management. You got to have a team behind you.
Right.
And I never wanted to let my team down by getting something started. And then the tabloids find out that I had this trouble when I was 19 years old. and it destroys my career. And then everybody's talking about the trouble that I've been in.
I
That
wish
was
I
one
knew you
time.
when
I
you were
never got
younger,
in trouble
man.
ever since
If I'd have
then.
been in your band, I would have said, pull the teeth, man. Just like your lawyer would. I said, we're going to fucking write a song about it. Tell them all about how you got locked up for it. Because it's the
Right.
only way to face that shit. If
Right.
anybody out there has a sex tape of me, go ahead, put it out. Fucking bring it on. I'll make you one home if you really want
Yeah.
one. Assholes.
So th-
You know,
there-
some
so
chicks
there's-
kind of dig that thing, but you know,
there's-
if all of a sudden it pops up on TV, what are you going to do? I say embrace the suck, man. Just laugh. Maybe even literally, you never know.
Yeah.
But for all of you young whippersnappers out there, with regard to the camera thing, please be sensible. Don't take pictures of yourself and give them to douchebags.
Oh,
God, I see somebody that these young kids, and I'm like, man, you can.
Stuff on the
And
internet
you know,
lasts
us
forever,
old
doesn't it?
people, I'm old enough now that I don't really give a crap. Anything I've done, everybody knows about it. I've paid my debt to society. I haven't even done anything bad, you know, like real bad. I had a pot bust once for like a gram or half a gram. And to me, that's like a problem in that I don't have a half an ounce, you know. I was going to say half a pound, but I never have a half a pound because I can't afford it.
when I was a kid, I got busted by a cop. I was hitchhiking, and this highway patrol pulled over, and I had some seeds in my pocket back when it was a felony.
Oh, man.
And I was just a kid. I was 15.
Right.
And they never charged me with anything, but
They gave you a stern talking to.
Boy, was I afraid.
Just the facts. Just the facts. What's your name? What's this Ace Arlo shit? Get out of the car. You smell like weed. You're beady-eyed, too. I don't like your looks. I don't like your face. Go stand by my car. Turn around. I don't want to look at you.
Hey, Neil, can I play one more? I just want to play a verse.
Absolutely.
And a chorus. I don't want to.
No, play the whole
song.
thing, man.
This one song called Wild Women and Whiskey. When I was 15 years old, my parents were trying to figure out how to get me some proper schooling because I was not making it in school with the hyperactivity and being on Ritalin for 7 years and attention deficit disorder and dyslexia, couldn't read. So they sent me to this.
That never
place called New
happens.
Trails. It was a co-educational camp. And lo and behold, I lost my virginity at that place. I was 15.
Right on.
And I wrote a song about it. And it goes, and this was the bluegrass version.
It's a love-making song like Barry White. Yeah. Gonna sing some Barry.
Young people trying to learn what life's about. We ended up in a summer camp for school. Some cherry wine, moonlit night, we passed out. It was my first time, man, we broke some rules. Wild women and whiskey, I'm drinking what I remember. She's always on my mind. Wild women and whiskey, I'm drinking what I remember. She's always on my mind. Looking back to Fleetwood Mac and the love we made. We were way too young to do the things we did.
Great lyrics.
Now years have passed, but we still laugh about those days. I thought I knew it all, but I was just a kid. Wild women and whiskey, I'm drinking what I remember. She's always on my mind. Wild women and whiskey, I'm drinking what I remember. She's always on my mind.
Play it, Jason.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Okay,
Ace
well that's
Arlo.
to the bridge anyway.
Hey, man.
Wild
Very
Women and
nice.
Whiskey.
Excellent song. I
Thank
really got to tell you, man, you write some great songs.
Well, thank you.
And
I'm sure glad
you're
that
leaving
you
a hell of a
enjoy it,
legacy, man.
I hope they continue to play, on the air. Oh, one other important thing. Now, in addition to having other people enter into a licensing agreement and profit sharing agreement so they can get the publishing and the veterans can get the writer's share.
Right.
If somebody wants to purchase, my recordings, 100% writer's share and publisher's share, it all goes to the vets.
You hear that,
Because
people?
I'm not going to be around. I'm not going to. I have
Listen,
no kids.
let's
I'm not
make a
gonna do
legacy
my writer's
here.
share or my publisher's share. So everything that people purchase directly from me on my
Right.
YouTube, on my website, or wherever
Sure.
you can purchase it on Amazon.
Is it www.acearlo.com?
Well, if you go to Ace Arlo, I've got an e-commerce site, but that's not going to be going on after I'm gone.
Oh, I got you.
But
Okay,
what
well,
will be going on is they can always contact. There will be somebody on this end that will administrate the publishing,
right.
administrate the licensing agreements,
Mm-hmm.
and also send people recordings, CDs or recordings when they order directly from me.
Great.
So
Well, I'm going
100%
to
of
make
my
a point
stuff-
of blowing this up, running an ad for the rest of the year. So send me like every address and detail of your whole life, your colonoscopy from last year. I'll have my nurse call you. We need some DNA and stuff, but it's all cool. Give me a verbal agreement if you happen to lick an envelope and I want to clone you in 3D to sell to Disney World. We'll give the vets half of it. Do you accede to that? I mean, I have footage from the show. We could prop you up with a guitar. And I'm kidding you. I'm really messing with you, but
Yeah, prop me up by the jukebox when I die.
God, man, I gotta say, I like your approach. We're all walking, whistling by the graveyard anyway.
Sure.
and so
You never know when it's going to happen.
no, and I think
how.
like Lyle Lovett's a guy who always writes about death in a way that I profoundly feel sad and happy at the resolution of it.
Right.
There is some order to the chaos in our life and world, even if you're not religious. Going to a funeral, having respect for the dead, and bringing some food over, do all the stuff that you're supposed to do.
Right.
Humanity is so great when it's just the people you're encircled and that you meet on a day-to-day basis. And I can tell you, anywhere in the world I've ever been, some scary places where you can always find an ally. You're always going to be good and bad. And I don't know, it's just like all the music people. I know a guy who tours around the world. Never been attacked, never been robbed, nothing, man. All he does is him and his girlfriend. I can't think of his name. I'm having a brain fart, but I've had him on the show. I'm going to post it because I'm about to have him on again. And he's a great guy. He sets up, he plays a Korg wave drum. And so he loops a wave drum. Then he has a guitar synth. And you can tell this guy's like a 60s, he's an older seasoned citizen. But he's got every like Led Zeppelin, every classic rock tune the guy can play really well. Right. So he does his own versions of them. And then he plays his originals, which are great. And he's been all over. I saw him, he's in Belfast right now. I've occasionally thrown him a couple of bucks, man. I like the fact that there's somebody still out there just doing it. It's like a troubadour wandering the globe, And,
right.
But, we're going to have you on. You're not going anywhere yet, so I'm probably going to drive you crazy, man, for the next 6 months.
That'd be great. I want to get the word out there so that people can record my music and everybody can reap the benefits.
Well, I want to get out, and I'm going to give you a promise. We're going to get at least one of these tunes out, because you got to hear it, man. I got to get it done for you.
Oh, you just reminded me. My friend Felton Pilot from Confunction, he's the great producer. No, he's producing an R&B group. He's out of Georgia now. He's down in Georgia. And he just presented my song Say When, which is on my Ruby Red Pickup Truck album.
Right.
He presented that song to the group, and they're so excited about recording it. So now Say When is going to get recorded, and it's going to be an R&B version.
I can't wait to hear this.
I think it's a vocal group like Boys to Men or something like that. So I just can't wait.
Can you make an introduction for me to your producer? Just let him know that I'd like to call him and just say hello. Maybe.
Sure.
You never know
Absolutely.
where. I'm kind of in one of those weird stages of life again. I'm restless.
Yeah, he's got a lot going because.
Of course.
Because what Felton has going on right now at the moment, Bruno Mars.
Oh God, damn,
and
he's
Silk,
killer.
and Silk Sonic just sang one of their songs, their old song. It's 40 years old. It's a song called Love's Train. It was a big hit in the 70s for Confunction.
Right.
And Bruno Mars and Silk Sonic just sang it at the BMI Music Awards on television, and I saw a video.
I think I just saw the clip actually the other day. That was the drummer singing?
No, Bruno
Okay,
Mars.
I just saw a clip of something with Bruno, and it was amazing. He had his whole horn section. They kicked ass.
So now, because of that, because Bruno Mars is singing one of Confunction's songs,
Right.
now Felton Pilot and Michael Cooper, the two founding members of Confunction, they're back out on tour. They've always done about 50 shows a year,
Right.
Regardless. But now that this happened, they're in the money again, and they're out there being super busy, and they're in demand again, and people are calling. The phone's ringing again. For them.
Excellent.
And so
All right,
that's
my
what
buddy.
he's out busy doing. And that's one of the things that he had going on up in Portland, Oregon with a concert up there, which allowed him to come a day early, rent a car, and come down to Bandon, Oregon to visit
Right.
me on one of what will probably be our last visits together. So I was
Well,
really honored and so thrilled that he came to see me.
I bet.
Man,
it's really
it was just a great time.
You
We
know,
went
the
out-
world,
we
those
went out to
moments and
Lord
friendships are it's all we got.
Yeah,
You can buy a lot of shit. You can have it all. We're all going to die. We're going to have nothing. And
Right.
I have my friend who passed away, JR, used to be the producer on the show. And when he passed, his family gave me his studio and all the gear.
Nice.
And as I unfolded it, we both went to Full Sail together decades ago. And we were really tight. We worked in facilities together. I've gotten him a job. He's gotten me a job.
Right.
And when you realize that all that stuff, without the crux of JR, when I was unhooking it, him and I were both trained by the same people. So I was thinking signal flow. And then when I was hooking it back up, I couldn't find the damn light pipe cable and stuff. And I was just like, God damn, I wish I had JR here right now, just because I know,
Right.
I don't know where this goes. It's like out of the whole thing I took apart, I couldn't figure out where to go out of the Pro Tools light pipe, where to put it in, to all the other gear.
Right.
But, you know, you're doing a good job of leaving a legacy, my brother. So everybody watching,
My dream.
hey man, a big hug, long distance, mate.
Hey, love you, brother.
I love you too, man, and I'll be talking to you in the next day or two because good things are percolating here. Let's, I'll keep you just abreast. But if something really cool comes up, I'll ring you, and you know.
Sounds great. Let's
I'm
make
hustling for you,
something
man.
happen. And help me help the veterans.
I-
help me help you. Help me help the music listeners. Everybody wins.
I'm gonna try to get something going in a couple of veterans organizations. So I've been working it. Slow process sometimes, but I'm persistent, you know, and I believe if you're persistent and polite, then eventually good shit happens.
Yes, it does.
So, all right, people, we're out of here. We had Ace on, and he is the man. I'm going to roll us out of here as soon as I get some songs up. I love you, everybody. I will see you tomorrow morning. Tomorrow I have the lovely and talented... oh, my God, where's my cue sheet? Here it is. Hang on. I should know better, but I'm easily distracted. I'm a drummer, man. It's like you throw a baseball and I'll chase it.
Squirrel.
Yes, I have
Squirrel.
tomorrow the lovely Evelina from Poland, a
Squirrel.
great singer, and Squirrel.
Yeah.
There it goes. Hold on, there's rats. Oh my God, there's rats. They're flying
Yeah,
through the air.
Neil, thank you so much for having me on and helping me to get the word out that people can record my songs, help the veterans, and get the publishing at the same time, and everybody wins. Thanks so much for having me
Hey
on.
man,
I look
you're the
forward
best,
to
my
seeing you
brother,
again.
and I'll be talking to you in the next day or two. I love you,
Sounds
man.
great.
Take
Thanks,
care.
everybody.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.
Bye. Bye bye. Yes, we're going together. I'm glad I came, I'm glad I stayed, I must be going.